Hey guys, what's happening? Will here, Red Bull Battlegrounds 2014. We're here with Andrew from Nvidia. Tell us about this project. I mean, I know we're here to talk about the GeForce. What was the project that we were here to talk about?
So a couple things. First of all, we want to talk about our new graphics architecture, Maxwell. We just launched two new graphics cards in the Maxwell line, the GTX 980 and the GTX 970.
Why are you here today at Red Bull Battlegrounds?
Well, Red Bull is one of our key partners, and we're the hardware sponsor for Red Bull Battlegrounds. So all the gamers are playing on our new Maxwell architecture at this event. It's actually the first tournament to use Maxwell in the world ever.
So, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We're really excited. We've been working with Red Bull on Battlegrounds and other things for a long time. They're a great partner of ours, and we have a very robust and serious relationship with them. It's not just about graphics cards. It's all about co-marketing and working together. So
awesome. Tell us about the Maxwell.
Yeah, so what we're looking at is a GTX 980 PC system running what we call Nvidia gSync. There's a bunch of really cool technologies that are part of the GeForce ecosystem, but right now we're just going to talk about gSync. So gSync is a variable frame rate monitor technology, and it uses a special module that we designed into monitors that we license to monitor manufacturers, and there's a lot of partners out there that make gSync monitors, and this particular one is an Acer 4K gSync monitor. So you're looking at 3840 by 2160 pixels running 4K. And what gSync does is it lets the GPU be in charge of the refresh rate of the monitor. Okay. So traditional monitor technologies are usually locked at 60 hertz or 120 or 144, and you have an option of using VSync on or VSync off. And it's kind of, both scenarios suck in their own way, and so that's what we're going to show you here with this demo. VSync on is great because there's no tearing, but VSync on was really designed for static refresh rate content, like movies or TV, where you get the same amount of frames delivered consistently, right? And so if those frames are consistently delivered, then they can be consistently displayed with a consistent frame rate. The problem with that is that games don't display frames consistently. They vary like crazy. All of your PC gamers are going to know out there that frame rate fluctuates like crazy in games, and so why would you use a static refresh rate?
So the idea is to keep it running smooth the whole time.
Exactly, but there are a lot of other problems. So one of them is input delay. So when you make an input action and you have to wait for that action to show up on the screen, that causes a delay, and you can feel it. Most gamers know when gSync is on because you can feel the input delay, and it's unacceptable. So what gamers do is they turn it off.
Especially in competitive gaming, if there's any kind of lag going on whatsoever, that's a serious issue. A lot of people complain about it. It's almost like removing that excuse, if you will, from the actual issue. And I'll scoot over here with you.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, so with VSync on, there are a few issues. So what we're looking is, if you see this, we're fluctuating the frame rate between 40 and 60, and as you watch it, it starts to stutter, right? So when it's 60, it's smooth. When it's 40, it's stuttering all over the place. And that's because we're waiting for that frame to be presented on the display for the next 16 millisecond cycle. That's how long it takes for a 60 hertz refresh rate to display that image. So like we were saying before, gamers turn that off. But when you turn it off, you see crazy tearing, right? So you either have stutter and input delay or tearing stutter and delay. Bad times. And so even though VSync is off and it feels like you're getting the data to the screen the fastest, you're not actually doing that. So each one of these is a different frame that's being presented partially. And so a partial frame may contain partial data. So if some guy's like peeking around a corner, it may feel like you're getting the fastest data, but it's not. So with gSync, when we turn gSync on, you get the best of both worlds. It's super smooth.
Yes.
gSync is just one of the technologies in the ecosystem of GeForce. And kind of one of the bigger things that we're working on is the GeForce Experience, and it's a software that you download on your PC when you get your drivers and all that from Nvidia, and there's a lot of really cool technologies that are enabled in there. Some of the new stuff we added with the Maxwell architecture are a technology called DSR. DSR stands for Dynamic Super Resolution, and that allows you to render your games at a higher resolution than your monitor and downsample them to the native resolution of your monitor.
Very cool.
So you get increased quality. We also released a technology called MFAA, which stands for Multi-Frame Sample Anti-Aliasing, and it's basically free 2xAA. We use alternating frames to calculate the samples like MSAA does, but we alternate them and then blend them together. So it's actually a very low performance cost anti-aliasing.
So at the end of the day, with all that being said, again, what you're going to see is just seamless interaction across whatever you're doing, very smooth displays and everything. So can you show us the example there again?
Yeah, so
I mean, you can see a recognizable difference right there.
Yeah, I mean, with gSync enabled, you're letting the GPU be in charge of the refresh rate of the monitor.
There's no tearing, there's no nothing.
We're no longer slaves to the static refresh rate. You get the fastest input, you get the fastest frame, and no tearing and no stutter. It's awesome.
Very cool.
Once you go to gSync, it's hard to go back. When I had my first monitor for a week, I went back to the lab to work on some other stuff, and I was using a traditional monitor, and it's like night and day.
It's like watching a high-resolution TV show or something, trying to go back to 480, watching it going, I can't believe I used to watch this.
Yep.
It's that much of a difference.
It's pretty much exactly.
And the 4K display, obviously, that helps as well.
Yeah, the Acer's made a really beautiful monitor with this. Not only is it 4K and it looks great, but with gSync, it's really a great experience. So
gSync is the future.
gSync is absolutely the future, especially for esports. I mean, guys want the most performance out of their monitor. gSync is going to give that to them.
Nice. Well, you heard it here. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.